Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another thrilling episode of Beer 30. Here's to you, here's to me. Sanity session. Muy bueno, muy bueno. But anyway, guys, hey Google, what is the definition of sanity?
Here's the definition of sanity: the ability to think and behave in a normal and rational manner, sound mental health.
Okay, that leaves all of us out. So anyway, with that in mind, oh, you like these shades I got? You've probably seen them before. These are. Let me see if I can get them here. Hold on. I'll show you my old shades. Out with the old, in with the new. Boy, I stepped on them. You believe that? $200 plus. Ta-da! Oops. They just cracked right down the middle. Yo! Well, if you had eyes that were really far apart, then, this would work. Or if you had eyes like this, or you know what I mean. And I'm sane. Yeah, I'm sane. But be that as it may, guys, it's been 2 weeks since I've been here at Fishers of Men Ranch near Marble Falls, Texas, getting some health stuff taken care of, some old-timers stuff. And we got most of it done. Next week we finish out the cataract surgery, and that'll be good. Got this skin cancer stuff done, and yeah, it's almost not noticeable now. It has almost absolutely healed, which is good. Yeah, no kidding. That was, man, last week, oh man, come on. Very uncomfortable. But these sunglasses are okay. I got them at Walmart. They're like $15. They're Foster Grants. They've got the UV and the other stuff. But having said that, it's a cool day. I took a good walk here this afternoon, and yeah. So, just a minute. Mouth's getting dry. Here's to you, here's to me, guys. Skol. Prost, cheers, chug-a-lug. Yeah, I feel much better this Friday than I did last Friday, because I was in a little PAIN, but now I'm in not. Now I'm not. So this next week, of course, I just mentioned about the cataract surgery, get that done, and then the stitches come out. I know y'all want to hear all this shit. I almost hate to say it, but it's on my mind. So anyway, that cleans it up next week, next Friday, and then we go back to Fort Clark Springs. Am I looking forward to that? Yeah, I am. I sure am. I sure am. Yeah. Why? It's just home. It's home. It's the only home. I've got this home on the road, my Class C motorhome, but yeah, that's home base, and I'll be there for a while. I don't know. I may go back down there and spend a week and decide, hell, I'm ready to go somewhere. But yeah, it's been pretty cold this week, and I know most of y'all know that, all over this, I don't know, southeastern United States. Florida's okay. New Mexico's pretty cool. And yeah, other states and interstate. Interstate 10 has been really busy with some accidents and stuff from Kerrville going west. They've got a traffic jam, unbelievable. So, with that in mind, I will tell you a story about when I was growing up. You'll love it. Hang on, I got to turn the heat off. Even though it's like 35 degrees outside, the sun sets on this side and kind of warms it up a little bit. And but anyway, I'll tell you a quick story, and then I'll end the video. But I grew up on a farm about 3 miles from Kennedy, Texas, South Texas, from San Antonio, going east from San Antonio, southeast from San Antonio, 60 miles, almost due south, I guess. But be that as it may, on a farm, small, well, not small. We didn't own that much land. We leased a lot, but be that as it may, it doesn't matter. But there was always something to do. Anybody that grew up on a farm like I did knows, there was always something to do. You were either planting crops, harvesting crops, or preparing the ground to be planted. You know what I mean? Always something. We had a John Deere A, a John Deere B, a John Deere G, and the Massey Harris 44. We had 2 combines, and to combine the flax and the maize, and we also had a corn picker. We didn't have a cotton picker though. We formed that out or contracted that. but before they had the cotton pickers, cotton strippers, we had people come up from Mexico in trucks and all that stuff. But anyway, back to the story. Finally, he gets to the point. Well, anyway, it never, again, the work never ended. Okay, I mean, when I got home after school, I had to water feed and water the hogs, of which we had a lot of Duroc hogs. We probably had 200 head of Duroc hogs. We had 2 huge feeders that had to be filled at least once a day, I think, or once a day. We didn't do that in the mornings. We did it in the afternoons. And we got it, the way you fill the thing, well, never mind, that's not what I'm going to talk about. But what it was, during the summer, there were days, there wasn't a whole lot to do, maybe some plowing or equipment maintenance and stuff. But one day, my dad came in and I'd probably been out honky-tonking or something. I was trying to sleep late. Woke me up and told me I needed to hit the field. I hated that. And they told me I needed to take a spreader of, what do you call vitamins for plants? Fertilizer. There you go. It's also for humans. But anyway, we had this fertilizer machine that we had borrowed from a friend of his. And anyway, he said that, he told me which fields I needed to do and which bags of fertilizer I needed to do where and all that stuff. So anyway, I had it all down, and it was about, I don't know, at that time, it was probably about 7:30 in the morning when he was telling me all this stuff. And he said, now when you finish with the fertilizer, we borrowed it from Bill Scarborough or somebody. And he said, just, go ahead and take it back to him. But he said, be sure you clean it before you take it back. And I said, okay. And he said, now there's a brush, a wire brush. You'll take that wire brush and clean that caked up fertilizer from those little wheels that turn to dispense the fertilizer. He said, just be sure you clean those real good and then take it back over to them. And I said, okay, because it was only about, 6 or 7 miles. You just drag it down the side of the highway and go. It wasn't bad. But anyway, he left to go. He was running the Farmers Co-op Gin in Kennedy, and he left. He left about 7:30, 7:45, whatever that was, and to go into town. Well, when he left, we were outside talking, and when he left, I just went right back in and went to bed. Because I thought, hell, it won't take that long to do those fields, and then I'll take the fertilizer back. Because, when you're fertilizing, it goes pretty quick. And anyway, it was some small places that we were cleaning up. So anyway, so he left, I went back to bed. Well, about an hour later, man, an hour, I heard this sound, and I thought it was my dad. He was in the room. He was in my room. Shit, man. I often thought he was a ghost. He just showed up, and he said, son, you got 30 seconds to get out of that bed, get dressed, and get on that tractor and start that fertilizing, or I'm going to lose my temper. Now, when he said he was gonna lose his temper, that at least gave you the opportunity to breathe. Sometimes it was instant, like, pow! You know what I mean? You dummy. No, it was quick. Justice was immediate. And I knew I was dead wrong. So anyway, I jumped out of bed, pulled on my jeans, put on a shirt, put on my shoes, out the door probably in 30 seconds, or 29 seconds. Anyway, got on the tractor and away I went, fertilized the fields, came back to the house, and I got that scraper out, that wire brush thing, and I started cleaning those wheels. Well, god damn, that stuff was caked on there like crazy, man. I'd scrape and scrape and scrape and scrape and scrape. But he'd also told me, he said, now whatever you do, don't spray water in there, because that chemical from the fertilizer is corrosive, and it'll corrode this equipment. I said, all right, I won't. Well, I didn't really, but I'll tell you what I did do. And I never really got caught. But I'll tell you what happened. I was scraping the crap out of that stuff, man, and it just wouldn't, it would come off, but it was slower and shit, and I thought, hell, I'll be here all day scraping this crap off. So I thought, well, wait a minute. I took a garden hose, drove the tractor and the equipment up by side the house, and opened the lid on that fertilizer. There's like 3 lids. You just lifted them up to put fertilizer in. And anyway, I opened those lids up, and I took a garden hose, and I just kind of sprayed it in there, you know. Well, boy, it was gone. I thought, get out of here, you know. I put a little more water, gone. It just dissolved it and went away. I thought, well, man, ain't nothing to this. But I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not that crazy, because if I spray this stuff with water and it corrodes this equipment, I'm dead. I'm not wounded, I'm dead, okay? But I did think, well, wait a minute. What if I wet that wire brush? Would that help? You understand? So what I would do, I'd just put a little water on that wire brush and then, shit, it just came right off. I thought, well, man, ain't nothing to this. Nothing. So anyway, 10 minutes later or whatever, man, I was through, man. Towing that thing down the side of the highway and towed it back to old Bill and Bill's place, parked it, or took it where he wanted to put it. Anyway, and then headed back. And on the way back from old Bill's place, there was what we had back then it was called a Creamy. It wasn't a Dairy Queen. It was like a Dairy Queen. You could get ice cream, hamburgers, and it was the hangout, man. The hangout. Well, anyway, I'm on the way back, and all I was on was that old John Deere G. And so anyway, it was about, I don't know, by that time it was probably after lunch and sometime. And I thought, well, hell, I'll just stop by the Creamy and get me a hamburger. And that was smart. So anyway, I pulled the tractor up behind the Dairy Queen, got off, went inside. Hamburgers 25 cents, but I didn't have no money. And I just, you know, back then we just signed a ticket everywhere and somehow it got paid. And but anyway, I went in and got me a hamburger and a soda water and ain't much telling what all. And I was sitting there and just pigging out. And I'll be damned. Guess who shows up again? My dad. I thought, my God, it's a curse. It's a damn curse. Hold on, I got to have a drink while I'm thinking on this. Very good. But anyway, so I'm sitting in there, and he came in, but he had one other guy with him that I knew. I can't remember his name now, but anyway. So anyway, they came in, and I was sitting there eating a hamburger. He said, hungry? I said, yeah, I'm having me a hamburger. He said, good. But he wasn't mad. I thought, damn, he ain't mad. Because I figured he'd be mad that I pulled in there with that tractor and parked it behind the Dairy Queen, and because I could have been back to the house already feeding the hogs or doing something, you know. He was always thinking what I could be doing. You know, you never told your parents in the 50s, or at least my parents or any parents I knew, that well, in town you could probably get away with it. And hold on. The volume probably went away because I got a telemarketing call on that phone. Anyway, I declined it. But anyway, so there I was sitting there and eating. Anyway, he came in, we talked, and I thought, well, I might be in trouble because there's always something to do. You know, you never said the word bored or I'm bored or there's nothing to do. Those words never came out of your mouth. Never. If there was nothing to do, you just did it, you know. And anyway, he said, he said, I just came from Bill's. I said, oh shit, I'm dead. It's already corroded and falling apart. Anyway, he said, Bill said that you did a damn good job cleaning that equipment. I said, well, you know, I worked at it quite hard, you know. Anyway, knock on wood, knock on real wood. It didn't corrode. It didn't fall apart in a week. I couldn't even sleep at night for an entire 2 weeks. All I could see was that fertilizing equipment falling apart. Old Bill going out to use it or something, and the wheels coming off. You know what I mean? And then I was dead. I mean, at night I'd go, oh God, I know, I've sinned. You know, please save me, Lord. You know, or whoever. I didn't care if it was Buddha, Great Spirit, or whatever. The Great Shark would have been fine. But man, yeah, back then you just didn't screw up, because if you did, you had to go cut your own switch, and a switch was like a switch. You know what I mean? A good switch, the ones that would get by every time, was if it was about as big around as your little finger and about 3 feet long, that was perfect. You know, and if you tried to come up with something that was not in that category, that just made your punishment worse. And where Daddy would switch me was on the back of the thighs, okay? Not the calves, but the thighs, the big part of your leg. And, you didn't have to pull down your pants or any of that shit. It didn't matter if you had pants on or not. I mean, when you get whopped by that thing with a tough swing, you feel it. Yeah, you feel it. And it would leave whelps. Woo, it'd raise whelps that high, man. but I didn't get that much. My brother got it occasionally, but I didn't. But yeah, and that's what you call corporal punishment. Back then, they probably would have put them. But all of that, I don't regret any of that. I don't, and I really, anytime I got punished, I deserved it. Okay, well, except for one time. One time I was in a car wreck, and it blacked my eyes underneath because I hit the dash with my head. And anyway, he said, "You been in a fight at school?" And I said, "No." Boom! Because he thought I lied to him. And man, you did not lie. You did not lie. No. But anyway, the sad part about it, whenever he found out the truth, he never said a word. But that's the way it was back then. Your parents were your parents. They were parents. They were like generals in the field. They give you orders, you execute. You don't say why, or I don't want to do that. Can you imagine if you said that to my dad? You'd be dead. You wouldn't have finished your 10th year on this planet. Or some smart ass remark. Oh my God! Even even mother, mother, she didn't do anything. She wouldn't slap you or anything. Maybe the girls she did. She never did me. But if I got crossways with her, she would say, "You better shut up, or I'm gonna tell your dad." Man, that's all you need to say. Shh, I'm gone, Mom. I'm out of here. I didn't say nothing. I ain't said nothing. I ain't done nothing. I'm gone. I'm invisible, man. I'm out of here. You know what I mean? But I still loved them both. They were great parents to me. We had good food, good times. My dad had a great sense of humor, and he was always pulling pranks and stuff. And so all of that was good. But man, guys, you ain't lived till you've lived in the 1950s on a farm in Texas. I promise you that, man. Because was there plenty to do? My God. Now there was times like December, maybe part of January, where there was just not much to do. You could do a little equipment maintenance. Of course, you had to feed the hogs, the damn hogs. Jesus, we finally got rid of them, and when we did, I think I just cried with happiness. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was a mess. But he made money off them damn hogs. I'm telling you, he did. And we had fresh pork and all that all the time. We used to, Mother would make that. Cracklings out of that old fat. You cut the, and why am I telling you? But anyway, the good times were there. I enjoyed them. We lived on a farm. We were up on a hill with a beautiful view. You could see beautiful sunsets, sunrises, and we were 3 miles out of town. And it was just really a good life. We were free as birds. They never told me when to come home. I was a free spirit, and Dad would say something like, "Well, use good judgment." That's it. That meant. He didn't have to give me a lecture. He'd just say, "Use good judgment," and that's it. And then, and one of the things he really harped on, and I mentioned it earlier, he said, "Don't lie to me." He said, because if you tell me that there's something that happened and you did not do it or you were not involved, he said, then that's it. You weren't. You know what I mean? So I didn't. I mean, there were times when I wanted to lie, but I knew if I did, and later on he found out the truth, that my credibility would be less than zero. I don't know if I thought that, or maybe it was fear. I don't know. But anyway, guys, what else can I tell you? My mouth is really dry now. So here's to you, here's to me. Yeah, but you didn't have to worry about Dr. Spock in my house. I guarantee you. Dr. Spock was my dad and my mom. And they would doctor. And let me tell you a quickie. I think I may have told you this before too. But anyway, for some reason, I had this little, never mind, I'll tell you this next time. I will tell you this next time. Well, I'll go ahead and tell you. It won't take but a minute. Anyway, I had there was this little building out on our property. We call it the Little House. And it wasn't a house, it was just a little building. But inside there, I had my science experiments. Okay, in other words, I'd catch bugs and stuff and get these little needles and pin them up on boards. Okay, and then I would try stuff that I mixed up to see if I could bring them back to life after I killed them. No kidding, I did that. But anyway, one day I thought, man, I need a razor blade. So the house was about 100 yards. Our main house was about 100 yards from the little house. So anyway, I went to the house, got a razor blade, and I was hustling back because my experiment was underway, you understand? And I was running with that razor blade in my hand. But when I was running like this, I was slicing my leg on the right-hand side. And I mean, I cut one really good one. I mean, a good one. You know what I mean? And when I got to the little house, I realized what I'd done. So I go back to the house. Told my mother. She said, "Oh, no problem. I'll take care of it." And what she did is she got some rags and soaked them in kerosene, and then cut them in strips, and wrapped it around my leg and pulled that wound together, and got this stuff tight enough to hold that wound together. And she said, "Now just leave that wound on there, leave those rags on there, and go back and do whatever you were doing." And that was the doctor. That was the doctor. You know, kerosene was a biggie, and I can't remember what else. I don't think we had anything else. I don't even think we had aspirin for all I know. But anyway, guys, with that in mind, have a beer. Pro, Skol, cheers, and all that stuff. Sanity. Remember the word sanity, if you can. Mm-hmm. Anyway, guys, it's Friday evening. Got a weekend coming up. Weather looks good here in Central Texas. It's going to be nice. No more ice storms. No more nothing. And I'm looking forward to getting all this stuff finished up. I'm sure you got things to do. So with that in mind, enjoy your Friday evening. Enjoy your weekend. Keep your health. Thumbs up. Carpe diem. Adios. Bye-bye. Buy anything you want anytime. Well, what you could do, you could buy me a new pair of prescription glasses. Actually, these are for a Martian with one eye. And this, yeah, that's what they are. I'm a one-eyed of the purple people eater. Remember, it's a one-eyed purple people eater. Well, that's what it is. That's what those. Anyway, enough said. Anyway, use the Amazon link in the description of the video if you choose to. If you don't want to fool with it, don't worry about it. Drink plenty of water, beer, and keep your health, man. Stand guard at the door of your mind. You know what I mean? This is sanity session. You know what I mean? Be sane. Don't let people get in your head, man. You be you, they be them. You know, I do me, you do you. Adios, amigos. Until next time in the morning, comment call. Bye-bye. Go cut yourself a switch.